All right, welcome everybody to another episode of Into the Storm, presented by Bison Ventures, formerly known as Real Talk with Ryan Madrid. First off, let's say happy birthday to Liz. She just turned 21.
Happy birthday.
21 years old, Liz.
That's a big birthday. Huge.
Yeah, she's our talented content creator, is that what we call her?
Yep.
And then obviously Trey over there as our podcast engineer, my sister Trisha Madrid as the podcast producer. And today we have a special guest and the person who is currently listing my home, Sam Levy. I mean, this is probably going to piss people off.
I was just thinking that.
That's
like,
okay.
Wow,
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. So Sam Levy with the Brokery out of the Arcadia and North Central office. Right. So thanks for coming, man.
Thank you.
So Sam is born and bred in the Central Phoenix area. So if anybody has any questions as to why I chose Sam, because he is like focused on that area.
I grew up like 30 seconds from that house, legit. And
yeah.
I live 30 seconds from that house.
Right.
So, yeah.
So for me, like during the market when it was just starting to turn just a little bit, I went to Tucker and Oleg, and basically they both said to use Sam, and obviously the broker are huge supporters of ours as we are of theirs, of their business. So we appreciate that. So, all right. So Sam grew up in Rancho Solano, North Central.
Yep.
So we try to joke around that we try to get some content in here sometimes that it's like a little bit, it makes it tough from rags to riches, all this sort of stuff. But that's not Sam. That's not Sam. So, but you went to, but you did go to Central High School. So that's your, it's not necessarily like the.
Let me back up. I wouldn't say I grew up with like a
perfect. This is what
silver spoon in my mouth, right?
Yeah.
But I come from an upper middle class family, and then I did go to Central, which was kind of an introduction into a different world.
Why'd you go there, by the way? Because it doesn't seem like that's where kids in that area tend to go.
My oldest brother went there, and then my parents kind of had this idea that it would be a great spot for us to kind of learn about the world, learn about diversity, and also like get ahead in from a school perspective, right? Like if I would have gone to Brophy, I probably would have been middle of the pack academically and probably never played any sports. At Central, I was graduated number 4 in my class and played like 2 varsity sports for 3 years. So
gotcha.
It was good in that sense. At the time, I wasn't too happy about it, but looking back, I'm ecstatic that I went there.
That's cool.
So,
did any of your friends from like growing up go there with you, or were you like on your own?
I had 2 friends that went there with me. One of them transferred within like the first 2 weeks, and the other one stayed throughout. So basically, I created an entire new friend group.
Nice. So people that grew up in Central Phoenix typically would go to where? Sunny Slope, Central, Brophy, Xavier.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So Sunny Slope kind of. It's the same sort of deal, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit more. It's more where North Central kids would go. Out of, like I said, I mean, I went to Madison Simus, Madison Meadows, and then 3 of us went to Central, and every other person either went to Sunny Slope or Brophy or Xavier.
So you play basketball there?
Yeah, basketball and tennis. So
basketball and tennis.
Tennis at Brophy, I would have had 0 chance of ever getting on the court, and same with basketball probably. So yeah, it was.
How have you not gotten on the pickleball train then? You got to have some sort of.
I'm really good at ping pong too, so I would imagine that I'm decent at pickleball, but
yeah,
I don't know.
You haven't played tennis in a long time.
No, not in years.
This is gonna make everybody so excited about this content.
I'm super excited.
All right, so after high school, where'd you go?
ASU. I went straight to ASU and got a degree in marketing there, and graduated a little early, like 3.5 years.
Okay, what did your dad do and your mom do?
My dad's a financial advisor, and my mom is an executive at a nonprofit health company.
Okay, so did they have any aspirations of you going anywhere else, or was ASU just the place?
So they kind of directed
your path.
Yeah, I mean, I'm grateful for it in hindsight, but it wasn't even a thing of. With high school, it was like both of my brothers went to Central, so that's where I'm going, and then with college, I had a scholarship to any in-state school, but both of my brothers also went to ASU, so it was kind of like that's where you're going, and that's where I went. One
of the things that I like about Sam, because we were similar, I think, is that Sam goes to his dad for everything. Like anything that comes up in his life, advice-wise, it doesn't even matter if like it's if like this person over here is like an expert, he's like, I'm going to ask my dad first and what I'm going to roll with. I did at least the same sort of thing. So I think that's cool that you have that kind of relationship with your father. So how did he feel about you getting into real estate after you got out of college, or what was your path after college? Actually, did you go right into it?
So in about like my junior year of college, my grandparents had both passed away, and their house was in Rancho Solano, like one of those acre lots, huge house, whatever. They passed away. I was getting ready to go take a job in marketing, which I ended up taking, but my parents were just kind of like, if you want to try this, give it a shot, right? I had no idea what I wanted to do. Marketing was okay. I wasn't super passionate about it, and I didn't think I was going to be passionate about this at all, but gave it a shot, and it was $1 million house. It sold first or second day on the market. It was a 10-day close, cash, no inspection, and
you saw your first big paycheck.
3% on that deal. So that was like,
so you're making more money than all your friends did in their whole year, but in
one pop. Didn't know anything about. I had no mentor. I didn't know anything about. Like,
where were you at?
I was at Realty One. So I was at Realty One my grandma was mentoring me. She was an agent in PV for about 30 years.
Okay.
So she mentored me. That was a whole situation within itself. And then from there, I jumped off and went to HomeSmart. But at that time, I was at Realty One. Yeah.
So it was the whole thing in itself because your grandma was hard-headed, or
no. I mean, she's a Jewish grandmother, so like, whatever that might mean is what it means, right?
She's a strong lady,
very strong. She in all seriousness, she's incredible, and like somebody who's done a lot of stuff, and she's a special woman. But she mentored me in the way that she knew real estate, and she hadn't practiced. At that time, it was 2014. She had been out of the market for like 5 or 6 years already. So like, what I mean by that is basically, I was doing things the old way. Like when I had my first buyer, she asked me to go preview for the buyer, right? And I was like, I don't even know. Like, okay, I guess I'll try it. So I like showed up to the house. The listing agent was there, and she's like, "Oh, where's your client?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm just previewing." She's like, "What? Like, what is that? What does that mean?" Right? And so I'm like walking around this house.
This is what my grandma told me to do.
Right? I'm like walking around this house by myself, like whatever. Cool. So just in that way, but it's all good.
Did you ever go back to your grandma and be like, they said that was weird, and she's like, that doesn't matter what they think?
Not really. I mean, I can't really give her a feedback like
You're
that.
You're afraid, I guess.
Yeah, I'm afraid for sure. Definitely.
His grandmother is still like sharp as a tack.
Yeah, she's 90.
I feel like I've heard this story before.
She does a lot of interesting, she's really sharp. She follows the market, she has her finger on the pulse of the market as much as I do.
And super polished looking, and just always very well dressed.
Yeah. Yep. She wears black uniform every day, black Benz, like she's driving around like she's still selling.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Impeccable makeup, cool sunglasses,
the whole thing.
Oh yeah, she's got it all figured out.
She's got it figured out.
She's single?
She is.
She is single actually, so let me know.
That's a joke, everybody. So why Realty One then? Was that where she was at?
That's just where she was at.
Oh, she was there too.
Yeah.
So what made?
Sorry, what was she though? The majority of her career was not
Realty Executives maybe, or something like that. I can't remember, but
more of like a luxury brand in the PV area.
Yep. Mm-hmm. She only sold in PV. Yeah.
Gotcha. She's the old Jim Madrid era there.
Yeah.
Did she ever tell you that?
No.
I didn't.
Maybe.
Our uncle, so my dad's brother, he was like an OG at Russ Lyon for
going back to the 80s, early 80s.
Interesting. Okay.
He's been there forever. I was only like a few people that I've ever met in this business that remember him because he did die a long time ago, but he was an OG back then too, selling in PV and South Scottsdale.
I bet my grandma might know the name
because he would be late 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's like Uncle Bob's age, right? Maybe a little bit younger. So
when you decided to leave Realty One, did you go straight to the Brokery?
I went to HomeSmart. So I was at HomeSmart for about 3.5-ish years in between. And that was just because I started going to the North Central tour, and I met a lot of agents that work in North Central, and they all worked at HomeSmart. So I figured it was, the right place for me to be. It was closer to I was living with my parents at the time, so it was closer to them. And I met my first mentor there, and kind of he ushered me through the first kind of part of my career.
So maybe back up a little bit. So you came out of college doing marketing. Did you think to yourself, like, how old are you? 30?
I just turned 30 on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like digital marketing and like all the, like that world was kind of new to the business at that point, right? Yep. So were you like thinking that you're going to like implement everything you learned in college, or that was like the angle you thought you should go?
No.
Didn't think that at all?
So I had a job out of college. I was working for a marketing firm and doing like sales essentially. Really just like cold emailing people, setting up meetings for the real sales guy who was one of the owners. And the agency went under, and so they got acquired by a bigger agency, and I didn't really love that job. It was okay, but I had already made like commission from the first sale, and I had sold like 2 or 3 more houses, and just the amount of money that I was making was, wasn't making sense to me. So I decided to jump off into real estate full time at that time. That was 2016.
But what about the just like marketing in general though? Like, is your mindset now like, okay, when I market a home, it's about the digital marketing side and it's an important factor of it? Or do you just think like old school is just still, you can just kind of just have relationships and just sell? It's
a little bit of both. Like I think that the marketing for me, I think about it a lot now. I didn't always think about it a lot. I think that it's one of my strengths at this point, but I also believe in the power of just relationships and like, the old school kind of print stuff that we do. That's a brokery philosophy that I subscribe to. So
are we going to be able to put anything up so we can show Sam riding his bicycle with his yellow shirt on for everybody?
I should have released that video after this podcast.
We can do that? Okay, cool. But are those all your ideas when you do those?
Yeah. I come up with all the video content.
And the guy that does the videography and all the production for you, is that the same guy that does stuff for Tucker?
No, it's a different guy that does stuff for Tucker, but he does stuff for a lot of big agents. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm probably the smallest agent that he
Who is it?
For. Gabe. His name's Gabe.
We're gonna give Gabe a plug, I guess.
One Take Gabe on Instagram. Follow him.
One Take Gabe.
Yeah.
That's good. No, he does do good stuff.
Yeah. He works with like Lloyd Fox, Josh Peters, Shannon Gillette, like those type of agents.
Oh yeah, so. Josh Peters does these like elaborate.
Yeah. He does all that.
Like cinematic.
Yeah. I don't have those kind of listings, so like
exactly.
It doesn't really make sense for me. But
$17 million listing.
Yeah, exactly.
So from a social media standpoint, then you're not like overly abundant on social media, but you're getting more with it?
I just try to be real about who I am and like my life. I am not the how can I put this? Like I don't post too much, I don't think, or I don't like try to show things that aren't real. I just try to kind of portray my normal life, and that's my selling style is just, if you resonate with the stuff that I do, then we'd probably have a good time working together. If you don't, then we probably wouldn't.
Is that just a philosophy that you were taught, or you just kind of like got to the point after just doing this long enough, you're just like, I only want to work with people that I click with?
Yeah, I worked with a lot of people that I really didn't like in the beginning, and I will still work with anybody, of course, but at this point I've grown a big enough referral base that the vast majority of my clients come from referral, which means that if I'm making new friends and getting new clients out of that, I'm hoping that the referrals that I get are similar to those people, which then leads me to have a bigger network and more referrals of like-minded people, more friends.
So you used to have deals like out in Gilbert, out in like Peoria, Chandler. Do you still do that?
I still do that. So I still go wherever the business takes me. It's just so happened that like in the last year, 2 years, a lot of my clients have started moving into Central Phoenix. So I've kind of become like, I don't want to say an authority figure, but somebody that people go to like learn things about Central Phoenix, which then leads them to like moving there once they figure out. Like I have 3 or 4 clients that go to the same barbershop as me, go to the same gyms as me, go to the same coffee shops as me, like on a daily basis. So that's...
Which barbershop do you go to?
I go to a barbershop called The Proper Cut on 16th Street in McDowell. My friend, a buddy of mine who's been cutting my hair since I was like 12 is the owner of that shop. So we grew up together. So,
What's it called? The Proper Cut?
Yeah, The Proper Cut, yeah.
You know one thing that I love about you and all of these businesses that you do frequent, because he is on all the time on stories, but they're very simple and they're usually...
It's a picture of like a boxing gym.
Right.
Yeah, that boxing gym is like right by my house.
It's like highlighting other people's businesses.
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, look at my business. It's like, hey, I got my haircut here today, and here I am again this morning at my gym.
Yeah.
And here, I'm going to have a cup of coffee at the, you know.
Has that gotten you any deals that you know of? I'm sure it has.
I don't know if it's gotten me deals that I know of, but what happens is like I get a ton of DMs from people that are like, hey, like, where's that coffee shop? And then, you know, I'll tell them whatever, and then they'll go there and they'll be like, oh, what do you get? And then it turns into like, oh, you post this gym every day. Like, where do you work at? I've been wanting to try boxing, right? So like then they go there, and then it's like, oh, wow, it looks like you do a lot of cool stuff. It's not really a strategy. It's just more of like,
it's an accidental strategy.
yeah, it helps me. It keeps me accountable to like that I'm doing things, because sometimes I don't always feel like doing a ton of things. So it helps me. It helps me do stuff. And then also I think people like to see what other people are up to. You know, I think there's kind of an allure around the real estate business that like we have these crazy, like flashy lives and whatever. And I don't have that, but I still like to show people what I do on a daily basis.
Because you're not like you're not showing like really fancy places. You're showing kind of like a gritty barbershop, a gritty boxing gym. Right.
I just don't go to like, you know, I don't go to those places. So like those are just the places that I frequent.
And the name of the boxing gym is
it's actually called Proper Boxing. So I go to the Proper Cut and I go to Proper Boxing.
Are those the ones on Thomas right there?
No. So Proper Boxing is on 7th Street in Coulter.
Oh, okay.
And then I also go to another gym called Mach 1 Sports Performance on 7th Street and just south of Camelback. So
okay.
I'm up and down 7th Street.
I mean, I think from a marketing standpoint, it's great. Does the owner of Mach 1 and To Proper, do they know that you marketed, like, so they know you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they know me for sure.
So, okay, cool. So they know that you probably brought a lot of people in for that.
I've sent people to both of those back and forth. Like even the owners of those gyms have like reciprocated business themselves to each one. So
really?
I just try to be a connector in any way that I can.
So do you feel like extremely like comfortable now in like this space at 30 years old, and like compare yourself to when you were like 25, 26? Or do you still kind of like still get nervous? Still like you get nervous for like listing appointments and that sort of stuff? No, you're over all that.
I don't really get nervous. Like I mean, in a professional setting, it's been a long time since I've gotten nervous. When I did the first couple like speaking things that I did, like I talked in front of the Brokery group once, and there was probably 40 people there. I was a little nervous for that. But I spoke at a high school yesterday at Central actually, and there's probably 50 people in that room. And
what did you do there?
I didn't get nervous at all. I do like once or twice a year, I'll go and talk to the kids about my job. Like, I don't know, real estate's a really trendy career right now. So like, sometimes the teachers will ask me to come and talk about it and help them out with like talking about struggles and like how to overcome. So
you still have a relationship with the school. That's cool.
Yeah. I'm actually planning to. This is going to help me with accountability. I'm planning to launch a scholarship there. Sometime.
That's awesome.
Sometime this upcoming school year.
Wow, that's nice.
Hopefully now I'm putting it out there, so now I have to do it.
Yeah.
But
do you get your brothers involved in that at all?
Nah. My brothers are doing totally different stuff. So no.
Are you tight with them or?
Yeah, really close. They're just in different
spaces.
They're both in New York, right?
One just moved to Austin, the other one's in New York. Yeah. So
financial guys?
No, not far from it. Not financial.
Just living life.
Yeah, they're just hanging out, but they're great. We're all super close, and I'm thankful for the relationship with them.
Yeah, I know, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So talk to us about then your relationship with the broker and kind of how that whole thing transpired.
Okay.
Because I feel like you've been there for as long as I can remember. Yeah. So
yeah, it's been a while.
So you're a youngster.
Yeah.
Went over there.
Yeah.
And Oleg and Tucker aren't like the two easiest dudes. Like what I mean, like
they're great. They're great.
They're great. I mean, from like an intimidation factor, though, they can both be very intimidating. For sure. For you, especially for a younger person in the business.
Yeah. So it's kind of a long story how it happened, but Nick Patak, who's a good friend of mine, was there, and he had just kind of was telling me about it. I was on my own at HomeSmart, just kind of floating around, doing like $3 to $4 million a year in production. I was like 25 at the time. I had a great mentor over there, who's I'm still really close with now. But Nick was kind of just urging me to meet with Tucker. I didn't even know about Oleg.
And I'm the one who got Nick to talk to Tucker.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Fun fact.
There you go. It's all circle of life, right?
Yep,
it all comes back. But so Nick was just urging me to talk to Tucker. I had a meeting with Tucker, and I was definitely like beyond intimidated the first time I met him. But he was really nice and just very non-salesy. He was just kind of like, hey, I think this would be a good fit for you. Here are the reasons why, and at the time I was also feeling like it didn't have the right culture for me at HomeSmart. I
Yeah.
come from a marketing background. Like I said, I'm a millennial. I need to have like people around me that I can be friends with and
Yeah.
not just sitting there all day
Yeah.
like comping properties and stuff, right? So Tucker recruited me for like about 6 months or a year. I can't really remember, but it was
Yeah.
a decent amount of time. And then finally one day he was just like, "Hey, dude, like, what are we doing here? Like, are you coming or not?" Right? And it was a hard decision for me.
Is it because you were leaving your mentor?
No, it was just the fact that it was just more expensive, you know.
Yeah.
And I just had never been at a brokerage that was like a full service brokerage.
Yeah.
So to me, it was like, okay, I can get 100% commission at HomeSmart, or I can go over here and pay what the split is. And is that going to be worth it? I really don't know. But the first year I did $4 million in 2017. In 2018, I did $13 million the first year at the Brokery. So it was a huge jump. And I think a lot of that is due to, you know, what they teach at the Brokery. So it worked out.
Yeah. 13 million in production is far. What is the average? 5?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, 13 million, that's a high producing. I mean, that's
I'm
a
going
lot.
to Google it.
All right, Google it.
Google it.
But it's a large amount. That's a good income for a guy 27, 28 years old.
It was great.
And yeah, like you said, you're not really a flashy guy. So, like, what did you do? Did you have you, like, invested? Have you gone back and, like, from an investment side of the real estate, I'm not trying to ask you how much money you have.
Sure.
But from an investment standpoint in the real estate business, have you dabbled in that yet?
Yeah. So I invest in a couple different things. My dad's a financial advisor, like I said. So I put a large percentage of my money into the stock market. And then I also do some real estate investing. Like I had 4 properties at the start of last year. I only have 1 now. Kind of regret selling them, but you know, I do some flipping and some rentals and stuff like that. So when those deals come along, I'll do them. But the biggest portion of my investment strategy comes in the form of the stock market.
So yesterday was pretty rough for you.
It's not great, you know. I mean, I'm a long term. Yeah. I'm a long term believer, so I try. Like, God, I try so hard to not even look at it when it's like. But it's inevitable. My grandma. Circle back to my grandma. She'll call and be like, did you see what happened? The market's getting rocked. You know, I'm like, I heard,
grandma.
yeah, like thanks. You know, and she's like, and interest rates. And I'm like, I got it, thank you, but you know, yeah.
Good thing I'm only 30.
Right.
No, I looked at my kids' 529s that my mom started.
Don't even talk about that.
Well, your kids are older now. So. I have one that still hasn't started school yet, but it was down 21% yesterday.
Yeah.
That's the whole year. So she's going to Glendale Community College.
There you go. GCC.
GCC, baby. Go Gauchos.
Yeah, Gauchos. Yeah, it's interesting right now, but, you know, that's my strategy. I try to just...
Yeah, I mean, you're young, long-term. It's all long-term anyways. It is what it is.
Yeah, I think more so for me, it helps me to not... I do spend a lot of money, but the vast majority of the spending that I have comes from, like, I'm a big believer in investing in myself with, like, coaching and stuff like that. So... if I don't put money away after my monthly expenses, I will just blow through it with like stupid purchases. So I try really hard to
shoes and shit.
Yeah, just all
like
types of watches, you know, just stuff that's unnecessary. And,
yeah.
You know, whatever. So that's what I try to do.
So do you, as far as coaching is concerned, I'm the same way, and I did take a step from it for a while, step back away, and I've just recently, over the last maybe like 4 or 5 months, got another new coach, and I'm thinking about hiring another person. So I fully believe in that as well. And not only that, for me, seems like every time I do have a coach, I thrive, because it's either the accountability side of things or it just refocuses me.
For sure.
So what are you doing right now as far as coaching is concerned?
So I have 3 coaches right now. I have like a counselor that's just kind of like focused on my personal life. I consider that to be a coach. I'm in the core training, which I'm sure you know what that is.
Yep.
So I'm in that. And then I have like a business a hybrid business life coach. And that's
Like a John Bohm type of guy.
Yeah, like a John Bohm type of guy. So those are the 3 coaches that I have. That kind of makes it.
Where did you find that coach?
So that guy is a friend of my brother's.
Okay.
Who he coaches like 20 CEOs and me. So like
Oh, wow.
he coaches very, very high level CEOs, guys that make $20 million a year. So like I feel really lucky to be in that group. And yeah, so I got in through the personal connection, and it's been amazing. You know, he's introduced me to a lot of really interesting people. And
does he ever put you guys all together?
Well, most of them are based in New York. So he lives in Brooklyn. So like when I go out there, I'll meet with him in person, and he'll also like connect me to somebody every now and then. But it's hard. Like it's hard to do it sometimes because I can't really bring value to, like, for instance, he coaches the CEO of Morning Brew. So like if I was to meet with him, like there isn't really much that I can bring to that conversation, right? And I'm respectful of that. But you know, yeah, we get connected.
Well, all those people, I think they like to give back a little bit.
Yeah, sure. If anyone wants to give back to me, go ahead, please. I'm willing.
So what does he help you do? Like your systems, your processes, or your mindset? Like what does he help you do?
It's everything. Like it's a mindset coach. I have a lot of, I'm very interested in like building businesses outside of real estate. So he helps walk through that. He helps me to kind of work through conflicts with, you know, whether it's colleagues or whether it's in personal life. He helps with that. He helps with like relationship advice. He helps with securing, like, you know, he has a lot of relationships with investors. So like if that's something that, you know, I want to get into, he's going to help with that. As far as like starting a fund or something like that goes. So it's a
he's a
cornucopia
connector
of
for
things.
sure.
Yeah, he's a connector.
Cornucopia. He
Like
said.
that word? Yeah.
Good
like
word.
Yeah, taught you that word
what
too.
about like your fitness levels seemed to really kick up when that coach?
Yes, I'm not really. It kicked up and then it went down. I went through like a phase where I didn't feel like doing anything. But yeah, I mean, it's just like Ryan said, it just helps to refocus, right? Like sometimes for me, I get so
because
lost.
you're naturally an athlete.
Yeah, for sure.
And so when you're an athlete and you're in shape and then you're not,
it's hard.
It's suppressing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like my weight has gone up and down. Right now I'm in a high place, but it is what it is. Like I'm still working out, so it's fine. But I've gone from like, you know, I'm 5'8". I've gone from being like 150 to like 210 down to like 160. Like it's fluctuated my whole life, right? So right now I'm trying to lock it in because now that I'm 30, I feel like my metabolism has like, it had a birthday too, right? And so like it's coming up. It's just been happening. So my genetics are not the greatest for, you know, eating like ice cream and stuff like that. And like, and then it's all good. It doesn't work like that. So yeah, he helps to refocus in that way too. And then I have trainers, which, you know, keep me. Though I guess those are coaches too, so they keep me on the right path in that way.
I'm 100% a believer in that as well. Because every time I feel like I'm slacking, it's the first thing I do is I pick up the phone and I call the same guy, but I've been doing this for 10 years.
Yep.
I'm like, I'm ready again. I need to hire you again. I'm going to give you cash up front.
Yep.
So you make me come. And then it just refocuses you. And everybody goes in and out of all that stuff. And it comes to time. But there's
Tucker.
also, dude, well, I mean, when you're, you know, when you're that disciplined.
Yeah. That's another coach of mine. So yeah.
I mean, there's people that can do that and you know, but that's rare.
Right.
He's also got like a military mindset as well. So.
For sure.
But yeah, I think it's there's nothing wrong with hiring somebody to kick you in the ass.
I have to do it, so I'm not ashamed of it. It's what I do.
Dude, the better you feel about yourself mentally and physically, the harder you're gonna work. I mean, that's plain and simple. We talk about it all the time, just me and Stu and Jeremy, just with us in general. Like I went out last night and worked out, and then this morning too, and that's why I'm in such a good mood today. I think, I don't know. And
it affects your mood,
but it really does affect your mood, and for me, it for sure does, because I get super lazy.
Yep.
If I'm not doing some sort of exercise. So, so where do you think, like right now? What's the date today? So it's the 15th, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it's June 15th. We've had a lot of fluctuation in the market. Things are a little crazy. So just we'll put this into perspective because it's my own personal deal, so I'm not afraid to say it. I was going to build a house in North Central, and it took a long time for permits. And through that time, the market shifted rather quickly. But by the time we got done, it was just I didn't want to go through another year-long process of building the house. So I came and I said, I think I want to list this house at the permits with the plans for 1.4. You didn't really think it was that. You thought it was too high.
Yeah.
But we're like, hell, dude, everybody's listing things for so crazy right now. Who knows what's going to happen? Like within like 3 days, 1,900 houses go on the market.
Yep.
I mean, so timing just couldn't have been worse on my part. And then, so we lowered the price again. And then finally, it's been 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So we may, we're gonna get a lot less than that probably.
Sure.
But someone was telling me today that they said that we have 14,000 houses on the market right now.
Yeah, inventory is rising quick.
And it was like 3,000 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So what does that mean to you?
What does that mean to me?
Yeah. What does it mean to us all?
It means that.
Like who's putting the houses on the market? Because there's different speculation, right?
Yeah. So there's a couple different. There is different speculation. What I'm experiencing personally in my business is that I have a lot of investors that are putting houses on the market right now. These are not guys. These are not hedge funds or things like that. But these are guys who hold small amounts of properties. They're putting them up, and they're sitting. To be honest, I think it means that right now, in particular, with rates and with the inventory rising so quickly, I think there's just a lot of fear in the market, and a lot of uncertainty. Maybe not fear is the right word, but a lot of uncertainty, which is causing more sellers to put their houses on the market and more buyers to stay on the fence because they think that inventory is going to just keep coming and coming and coming.
Mm-hmm.
So that we're kind of at a standstill, and I think that's going to continue for a month or two, and then something will. I'm hoping that maybe the rates will drop a tiny bit, or I don't know what could happen, but it'll trigger and we'll go back. We needed it, and to be honest, it was just too crazy for too long.
It's crazy though. Still, even though the house, we dropped the price, there's not like there's a ton of inventory that popped up in that neighborhood.
There isn't,
but yet nobody's really putting offers on a house, for $1 million that they want to turn around and scrape and then build, which is understandable. But it still only puts a house at like $450 a square foot, where you got houses in Arcadia still selling for $1,100 a square foot.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So average time on market in Arcadia was like 9 days still.
Yeah.
Proper, we're talking about, but like in North Central, it wasn't like it was that far off.
Right.
I just want to sell
It's.
Yeah, Trish.
I think it's time for a rapid fire question.
Okay, go for it.
Okay.
That means that we were boring.
No, not at all. Not at all. Just
It's all good. You can say it.
Just wanted to change the direction that the conversation was headed.
All right.
LinkedIn, Instagram, or YouTube? Like, which is your?
What are we talking about?
If you had to pick just one of those three platforms for you,
for business,
and/or your business, what would you choose?
For me personally, Instagram. For professionally, I would say LinkedIn.
So you're one of the only people that I personally know that has grown their real estate business, or at least the brand awareness, big time on LinkedIn. Most people aren't as diligent about it as you.
Yeah.
I mean, like your early years, that was a big part of your strategy, right?
For sure. It still is. It's still a big part of my strategy today. I spent a lot of time on LinkedIn, and
who told you to do that?
Made me a lot of money. My dad. He came up with so my dad, my dad's loomed over me for my entire life in a positive way. Like he's
guiding you.
Yeah, he's guided me. And when I first got in the business, it was extremely hard to get it going. I was 22. None of my friends were buying houses,
right.
And we tried a lot of things. Like I shot 400 videos that I was just posting on Facebook like daily, right? And that wasn't working. And then he just randomly had the idea to get on LinkedIn. So I got on there and started just adding. Like I literally went through. Is your name start with an A, and do you live in Arizona? Like, cool, I'm gonna add you, right? So like, that's what I did. I have probably around 20,000 followers or connections on LinkedIn, and it's made me a lot of money over the life of my career. But yeah, my dad kind of just spurred that. I had that idea.
So do you use the same content and then like repurpose it across the platforms?
Not really. Like on LinkedIn, my strategy is just like to post houses on there and then have like private DM conversations essentially with people. On Instagram, my content is more just, it's either produced video content or like a just sold post or my day-to-day life. Yeah.
Can I ask Liz a question? You can relay the answer if you want to, but Do they talk about LinkedIn at all when you're learning about marketing in college?
No.
Not at all?
I feel like the only way they talk about it, like in classes, is just essentially to like help you get your first job.
Really?
And that's like the point that they drill across.
And then did they talk about Instagram and Facebook and any of those, or you're just saying no social media at all?
Yeah, no, I think especially it's becoming a new, I mean, it grows every single day. I think it becomes more important. So I think going forward, it will get more and more popular to talk about like in those classes. But still, I think they kind of limit it to just, like marketing strategies or like
Traditional marketing.
Yeah, stuff like that. So
That's interesting.
It is
That's
interesting
shocking,
because
actually.
it's still, the ones that even my friends that are pretty active on LinkedIn are typically older.
Yeah,
and
that's why we targeted that because to me,
it's,
like they're all professionals. Most people on there either own a house or can own a house, so that's why we went that direction.
Yeah, I don't even know how relevant. I don't know why we don't do more on there. To be honest with you, I do because I don't do it. That's why. Because I'm not good at that, but I need to do better.
There's a lot of opportunity.
I didn't even
LinkedIn.
know you were active on there. To be honest with you,
I've made well into the six figures in commissions off of LinkedIn.
Wow. So just random hits, or people that be like, "Hey,
Just
I know your dad," or "Hey, I
these
know
are-
you from
yeah,
your
it's just
kid."
like these
or
are
something.
people that I just post every day, right? Like I just post houses every day, and I have like just because I have so many connections on there, people will share my stuff, and then I get a connection that way, and then inevitably somebody will just be like, "Oh, can you tell me about that house?" And then there's a conversation, and then it's either like that house doesn't work for you, but what's your email? I'll get you on a list for whatever else. They get dropped into my newsletter. They get put on a subscription or whatever, and then it just turns into deals. And also, I've got a lot of sellers from LinkedIn through people saying like, "Wow, you're really diligent. You work hard. You're posting stuff every day," which it takes like 5 seconds to do a post, but I just do it every single day of the 5 days of the week. And I've probably sold on the list side over 20 houses from LinkedIn, and then on the buy side a lot more than that.
And
So
it's just no ads, nothing. It's just
it's
all
not paid. No,
It's just organic content that you just
yeah.
come up with
I've
every
been
day.
doing it for 5 years,
Right.
but yeah.
He's got definitely a little Max Hansen in him. In terms
That's
of
the person I was
his
thinking about,
LinkedIn
actually.
approach, because I think that Max does produce really like great content. But
Yeah.
his standout thing is the fact that he's on there every day.
Yeah.
Like I know when I get on there every single day, Max is going to come across my
Yeah.
feed.
But Max also has a company that Max knows that he should be on there, so Max has a company that helps him create content
For sure.
and which is really good as
he's-
well.
he's
And
still
he
the
does a
one in
really
front
really
of the
good
camera.
job of recording his own videos and
Yeah.
he answers questions. You should follow him, Max Hansen, by the way.
Yeah.
What's
Max Hansen. He owns Y Scouts. It's a
The letter Y.
yeah,
Scouts.
it's a
Okay,
recruiting company
I'll
for
check
like
it out.
executives.
Cool,
My college roommate. Great guy.
sweet.
Trish, another rapid fire.
Yes. What's the best thing that happened to you this month?
Whoa,
I know it's tough after the conversation
wow.
we just had about the doom and gloom of the market, but find a
just
a
in
ray of
any
sunshine.
in any like
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything.
personal, professional.
I signed a bunch of listings, so that was great. I decided to start DMing people that I thought might want to sell, and it worked. That was that.
Because the market was shifting.
Just-
You're like these people.
I just know so many like flippers and stuff, and I had just never like they're always constantly posting like, oh, this one's getting ready to hit the market,
Yeah.
blah blah blah, and I never just like these are personal friends, and I just never thought to DM them and be like, hey, let me sell that one for you. So I literally just started like swiping up on their stories and be like, let me sell that one for you, and 3 of them said yes,
Yeah.
which is crazy. So there's that
And then
worked.
now they're sitting there because the market.
And now they're sitting there and they probably think it's my fault, but it's not. But that's what's happening. So that was
gotta
was
shoot
cool.
your shot,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, I gotta shoot it. So that's probably the best thing that happened to me this month. This month, my birthday, I just turned 30, so that was cool.
That's right. 21 and 30.
Yeah, that's big difference there.
Well, I just had 51 a couple weeks ago, so
Happy birthday.
I put you two together, and that's me. That's scary.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about Ryan? What's the best thing that happened to you? last
Ooh,
month?
he's flipping it on me here.
Yeah.
The best thing that happened to me this month. It hasn't happened yet. I was hoping that the house would sell. Let's see here.
Fire your listing agent.
No.
Just kidding.
Oh, man.
It's a tough question.
Yeah, it is tough. I would say that it's about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter's about to turn 17 next week. That's
Okay.
good. That's a good one.
That's great.
That's what's happening in June.
Mind blowing.
Yeah, 17
She's about
years
to be
old.
17. It's crazy.
You know what? Actually, you know what I think was the best thing is that we decided to get that my son decided to go to the music school. That was
Crass.
cool. The Crass.
That's cool.
That was cool because he was kind of trying to figure out how he wanted to roll and
Sure.
to
How old is
finally
he?
make a decision. 20.
Okay.
Make a decision that that's what he wanted to do. That was cool. And then for us to like tour and really understand about the school, it's pretty damn. He's lucky.
What instrument?
He's not doing instruments, musical engineering,
Oh,
or
wow.
sound engineering.
Okay, cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
Sweet.
it's called Crass. Yeah,
Crass.
That's cool. So that's it. So thanks for turning it on me.
Yeah.
Making me uncomfortable.
It is what it is. I'm uncomfortable, so I got to turn it on you.
What about books? Do you read?
Yeah, I do a lot of audiobooks,
Mm-hmm.
but I also read. I mostly read at night, like pre-sleep to
Yeah.
try to help me unplug.
Yeah.
I read a wide range of books. There's a couple that are like kind of staples that I rotate through. Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. That's a big one.
You reread that book?
Yeah, all
Yeah.
the time. I listen to
People
the audio
always
version.
reread that book. That's like the
Yeah, that's a standard
Yeah.
one. Principles by Ray Dalio. I'll kind of like flip through that one and just pick up a few things. Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss. That's a really good one. That is kind of like
That's a big one.
I love that book.
That's a great book. And then I have like some others that are more like nonfiction, but like American Kingpin is probably my favorite book that ever
What's that?
ever came out. It's about the Silk Road. Are you familiar with the Silk Road?
Mm-mm.
So yeah, there you go. So the Silk Road is like this on the dark web. You could buy anything. Like you could buy organs, guns,
Yeah.
drugs, anything. And so it's the story of the guy who founded that
Damn, I've never
website.
heard. What's this called again?
It's called American Kingpin. it's
American
a true
Kingpin.
story. It's really good. So that book I will
I'm
reread.
downloading that on
Yeah.
Audible.
When you're driving home, that book will keep you hooked.
Really?
Like the entire
it's
way.
it's a good travel book.
Yeah, it's great for anything you gotta do that's boring. It's an unreal book. So
What about the Scout Guide book?
tell me about it?
How would you?
Good
you like-
transition,
Hey.
Ryan.
Oh, that's
So
weird.
Natural.
Well, we have it.
Oh, are we in this book? I am at least. Oh yeah, we are. Look, and also the Brokery's in here too. So, anyways, if you guys haven't
Shout
checked
out.
out the Scout Guide, check it out. It's a great book. So, anything else you guys want to wrap up before we get going here?
We covered the rapid fire questions that I wanted to. The other note. Oh, I had a note that I wrote down earlier in the conversation when you talked about that you majored in marketing, but you
Yeah.
figured out pretty quickly that you were good at sales. And you and I have kind of talked about this in the past. What do you feel is the relationship between marketing and sales and the synergy there? Because a lot of people who aren't in the industry just lump. They're like, oh, marketing and sales, same thing, right? Sales and marketing.
Yeah.
What do you think the distinction is, and how has like the education from the marketing side benefited you on the sales side and vice versa?
Sure. So I learned a lot about like traditional marketing in college, and kind of I was able to take what I thought was marketing and bring it into real estate for me specifically. I don't know if I'm necessarily a great marketer for everybody, but what I am good at is getting across who I am as a person in my marketing, and that's just because I'm not. I think I got to be careful here. Like I think that a lot of realtors put on some type of a show or something to try to get business.
Totally.
And I tried that, and I like made all these videos, and that were like kind of stupid, and like they were educational, but like in a dumb way, kind of. And like I didn't know what I was doing, right? So I was just like pumping content out constantly to try to get a hit, and it wasn't working. And so then I decided, at that time I also hated the business because I wasn't being successful. The stuff that I was doing seemed dumb, and I didn't like it. So I decided that if I was going to stay in this business, that I was going to have to transition to market myself to hopefully work with people that were like me so that I could enjoy my life, right? Because what good is the money if you're stressed out of your mind every day with, I'm sure we all have that person when you see their name pop up on your phone. You're like, oh my God.
Heart rate goes up.
Yeah. So I didn't want that anymore.
Yeah.
I just wanted to minimize that, and so I market in the way that to try to attract people that are like me.
It's authentic.
Yeah.
You were very young to figure that out. I think that takes people a long time.
I was just close to like getting out of the business because
Yeah.
it was just so hard, and it's crazy to think back that at that time the market was like going crazy, but I couldn't get any business, and the way I was doing things, I just think I was trying to come across as an authority figure, but in reality I was looking like I had no idea what I was talking about. So
Yeah.
I just transitioned and started doing things that I liked and making content out of it, and building up my brand in my way that I'm sure of. Like I'm never ashamed to put out any type of content, or like I never feel weird about it, because it's just, if it's stupid and funny, like then that's kind of fine. Like the bike thing was like, oh, this will be funny. Like multiple people were like, what the hell are you doing? Like, you're riding a bike, you look crazy. But to me, it was just like,
dude, I thought it was
fun.
funny.
Yeah,
it was
funny.
good.
Like,
I took it as funny.
Yeah, it's just like it's stupid. Like just
it also takes
whatever.
balls to do stuff like that. To be honest with
Yeah.
you, so and I think one of the biggest problems is for Trisha in general. I would say, it's not to throw her on blast, but she doesn't do much on social media because she just is nervous too. Maybe.
Oh, insecurity.
Yeah,
definitely
insecurity.
has
Yeah.
like, and I think that it's almost like the longer you stay off, the harder it is to like think about going back, because it's like, how do you dip your toe back in there
Right.
without feeling like a total asshole? Like, hi, I'm back. Send me your loans. Like it's
Yeah.
like you kind of have to like ease in. And every time I feel like I've got that little like space to kind of slowly, something happens and I put it off again. But yeah, part of it comes from being new in the business, how you felt a few years ago, right? I'm coming up on 2 years, and aging. I mean, it's so shallow, and I'm kind of embarrassed to admit, but it's tough. I look at myself and go, I don't even know who that is anymore.
LinkedIn, Trish.
Yeah, you could crush it on LinkedIn, seriously. So do that.
Yeah,
That's
and
really
I have a
boss
hard time, I think, getting.
But you create good content, but it's not personal stuff. It's not her own, like it's not videos and stuff like that.
Sure.
So, I think that's pretty much where you just need to be starting. It's just putting stuff out there,
Right.
Instead of for everybody else doing it. She does it for the company.
Right.
I used to, when I would handle your stuff, I loved doing it for you because it was a person. It
Right.
wasn't,
Yeah.
I
remember those
love
days.
doing stuff for Bison Ventures. But
get
when
back
I
to
was
that.
doing things, we were more active on the podcast, social media, and then on his personal stuff. I love that really gushy, like authentic stuff, but I was able to hide behind the fact that I was pretending to be Ryan.
Yeah.
Right?
Like I
That
just,
was all me. Shh.
yeah, I just like am super big on like I every day I go to the gym, I say like rent paid on my post, right? Like it's just like
I know, I
it's
love
just like
that.
a little caption that I say, but like the amount of people that say that to me in person is crazy. Like agents, clients, friends, people. I walk into the Brokery and like 3 or 4 people be like, "Did you pay rent today?" I'm like, "Of course." Like check my story, like I did. So it's just like I just try to have fun with it, and like the video stuff, I like to be, true to who I am and post different stuff. It's not really a strategy per se, but it's just what I think is cool. And I like to watch other people's like videos. I look at like Ryan Serhant from New York, right? He posts like his videos mega produced, and he's one of the top agents in the world, whatever. But like I like that kind of content, so I try to recreate, in my own way, his type of stuff.
But even the most insecure people that actually just go and do it, like you don't know, like Tucker, we have massive conversations about this.
That's a great
he is
example.
So stressed out about doing these things, and he is. I mean, like he has a tough time getting through them all, and then when you watch him,
He crushes
I'm
it.
always like, dude, your videos are so good. And he's like, oh my god, they were the hardest things ever. I was so stressed out and nervous.
Yeah.
But we're our own worst critics. And
sure.
so this is a good wake up call for us. Actually,
Yeah, you guys got to start doing some
video
video
some more
stuff.
video stuff.
Yeah.
Fine, jeez, Dad.
Someone
All right.
push it.
All right. So again, man, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. I know we're gonna sell my house. It's happening really
It's
quickly.
happening.
We're getting
It's
an offer
happening.
today.
Yep.
Thanks again to everybody over here. Happy birthday again, Liz.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Trey.
guys.
Thanks, Trish. Appreciate it. Everybody who's listening to the podcast, please go onto all the social media platforms. It's Into the Storm. And go to our YouTube channel and check it out there. Like and subscribe. We need people to follow us. And so if you have some friends that you think that would enjoy these episodes, please share. And Yeah, so we can pay the bills. By the way, we do own a mortgage company.
Oh, yeah.
And so that would be pretty cool if we just got some loans too. Like Sam, but please, refinances and purchases. We are Bison Ventures, Informed Mortgage Lending, partnered with VIP Mortgage here in this beautiful building, who allows us to do it in this space. So thanks, everybody, and check out this episode, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.